Good morning, students. Today let us discuss one application related to the capacitors. Capacitance between two long parallel conductors. If there are two conductors separated by certain distance, their combination will act as a capacitor. We would like to find the capacitance between the parallel conductors. Let me take two conductors like this. This is first conductor, whose axis is like this, whose radius is small r. One more similar conductor is here. Its axis is like this. Separation between the two conductors is d. Separation between the two conductors is d. That means separation between the axis of the two conductors is d. Now this combination is acting as a capacitor. I would like to find the capacitance. If I take a point here which is at a distance x, from the center of the axis of the first conductor, at this point the electric field is given by electric field due to this conductor, electric field due to this conductor, E1 plus E2. As we are given positive charge here, negative charge got induced here. So electric field at this point means if you take 1 coulomb positive charge, it will be repelled by this. The same positive charge is attracted by this. So net electric field is sum of the two electric fields. You know that at a point nearer a conductor, the electric field is given by lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r. R means here the distance is x. Here the distance is x. Similarly, electric field due to the other conductor is given by lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught d minus x. In order to calculate electric field, we use this formula, but we require capacitance. So capacitance can be found by taking potential into consideration. So therefore, I would like to find the potential. Before to that, let me take lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught as common. So 1 by x plus 1 by d minus x will be the electric field here. We need electric potential. Electric potential, let me take the name of the first conductor as A, name of the second conductor as B. The potential difference delta V, nothing but VA minus VB. It can be written as integral EdR. As you know that E is minus dV by dr, dV is equal to minus EdR. So whenever you want potential difference, minus integral EdR we should take. So minus also you need to keep. Here variable is the separation between the conductors. The separation varies from R to d minus R. That means potential difference between the two conductors means from this point to this point. This point is located at a distance R. This point is located at d minus R. As it is R, so the distance is d minus R here. Therefore, limits of the integration I am taking from R to d minus R. Now we have to do this integration, minus integral R to d minus R lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught 1 by x plus 1 by d minus x. While doing integration, all the constants we can keep outside. Here lambda is linear charge density. Lambda is nothing but charge residing per unit length. It's a constant. 2 pi epsilon naught is again a constant. So therefore the potential difference delta V is given by lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught I kept outside. Here dr, here actually x is the variable, x varies from r to d minus r. Therefore instead of variable we should take dx here. So take dx integral r to d minus r minus you can keep outside 1 by x plus 1 by d minus x into dx. So minus lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught integral dx by x is log x. There is a formula in integration. Integral dx by x is log x to the base e. So based on this formula, the first value becomes log x to the base e. The second value becomes log d minus x to the base e. Again for d minus x, if you take the derivative, it becomes minus 1. It will come in the denominator. And limits are from r to d minus r. So minus lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught. First of all, we should substitute in the place of x d minus r. So log d minus r to the base e. Again this minus will come into the numerator part. So already log d minus r, d minus x is there. 1 minute. Once again I will write here. Minus lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught. First let me simplify this. Log x to the base e minus log d minus x to the base e. Limits are from r to d minus r. Let me simplify that here. First let me multiply minus into that. So the potential difference is given by lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught log d minus x to the base e minus log x to the base e. Limits are from r to d minus r. Lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught. Log a minus log b can be written as log a by b. Log d minus x by x to the base e r to d minus r. Now lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught. In the place of variable, that means in the place of x, I should substitute d minus r by d minus r minus log. In the place of x, I should substitute d minus r by r to the base e. So if you further simplify, lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught. So log d minus d gets cancelled. R by d minus r minus log to the base e d minus r by r. This is the potential difference. Stop. Now delta V is given by, we can change the numerator and denominator position. So lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught log r by d minus r to the base e. When you interchange the numerator and denominator position, minus will come out. So it becomes log r by d minus r to the base e So both are identical. So you can write lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught into 2 times of log r by d minus r to the base e. 2 gets cancelled. So finally lambda by pi epsilon naught log r by d minus r is the potential difference between the two conductors. But we need capacitance. Capacitance is given by charge by potential difference. Charge residing by potential difference. If L is the length of the conductor, charge, you know that lambda is equal to Q by L. Then Q is given by lambda L. So lambda L by potential difference is lambda by pi epsilon naught log r by d minus r to the base e. So lambda gets cancelled. So the answer is pi epsilon naught L by log r by d minus r to the base e. So the capacitance of two parallel conductors separated by a distance d, each conductor is having radius r. If you observe clearly, capacitance depends on the length of the conductor, and it also depends on the radius of the conductor and separation between the conductors. Here r is the radius of each conductor, d is the separation between the conductors, L is the length of the conductor. So capacitance of combination of two conductors depends on their dimensions, their length, their radius and their separation, and it is independent of the charge available on the conductor. Here no charge is available, only the dimensions of the conductors are involved. So based on these dimensions, we can calculate the capacitance of combination of two conductors. Thank you. Now let us do one application. Here is the question. There is a capacitor with parallel plate capacitor with two square plates, each of side length A. They are separated by a distance d, and the space between the two plates is filled with the two dielectrics as shown in figure. So here is a capacitor. The capacitor is having square plates, each of side length A. A is the side length of the square plate, and they were separated by a distance d, and the space between the two plates, it is filled with the two dielectrics. This part is having dielectric of dielectric constant K1, this part is having dielectric of dielectric constant K2. Now I would like to find the capacitance of this capacitor. So what is the data given to us? Each square plate has side A. Each square plate has side A. Separation between the plates is d. Two dielectric mediums of dielectric constants K1 and K2 are kept like this. Suppose this angle is theta. Suppose this angle is theta. We can frame a right angle triangle like this here. We can frame a right angle triangle like this. Here the base of the triangle is nothing but side of the plate A. The height of the triangle is nothing but separation between the plates d. In order to find the capacitance of this parallel plate capacitor, let me take a small element here. Small, very small element. This element is having thickness dx. This element is having thickness dx. That means from here to here. This element is located at a distance x. This element is located at a distance x. That means this part is x, this part is dx. First of all, I will find the capacitance of this small elemental capacitor. Later, by doing integration, I will find the entire capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor. Here, we are given with T1 and T2. T1 is the separation here, T2 is the separation here like this. T1 is the separation here, T2 is the separation here like this. How to calculate T1? If it is theta, obviously it is also theta. What is tan theta? And if it is x, what is this separation? A minus x. A minus x is the separation here. So if I take tan theta is equal to opposite side T1 by separation A minus x. From this triangle, tan theta is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. Similarly, from here T1 is equal to A minus x tan theta. The same tan theta can be calculated from this triangle. Tan theta is equal to T2 by the separation x. Otherwise, tan theta is equal to d by a. In the big triangle, opposite side by adjacent side, d by a. In the small triangle, dx is very small, so it is negligibly small. Therefore, that base I am taking as x, height I am taking as T2. So it implies T2 can be written as xd by a. T2 can be written as xd by a. Similarly, T1 also can be written as, again tan theta means d by a also you can write a minus x into d by a. A minus x into d by a. Now, capacitance of the small capacitor DC. DC is the capacitance of this elemental capacitor. And as it is a parallel plate capacitor, you can write its capacitance like this: epsilon naught A by A means area of the plate. I don't want to take the entire area, I want to take the small area of this plate. Small area of this plate means you can write it as dA. Epsilon naught dA by thickness of the first part is T1, its dielectric constant is K1, plus thickness of the second part is T2, its dielectric constant K2. T2 by K2, T1 by K1 plus T2 by K2. So, epsilon naught dA means area of the small elemental capacitor. Its length and breadth, if you consider, length is taken as dx, breadth is nothing but side of the square plate. So, A dx will be the area of the small elemental part by, now I calculated the values of T1 and T2, I may substitute them here. 1 by K1 into T1 value is given by A minus x into d by A, 1 by K2 into T2. What is T2? xd by A. So this will be the capacitance of the elemental capacitor, what I considered here. If you simplify this, DC is given by, what is the simplification? Here in denominator, A will come as common, or otherwise one more step I will write. Epsilon naught A dx by, in denominator I can take d by A as common. If I take d by A as common, A minus x by K1 plus x by K2. Then if I further simplify this A will go up, epsilon naught a square dx by d into this LCM here is k1 k2, that will go to the numerator part. In denominator, k2 into a minus x plus k1 into x, it will come in the denominator part. This is the capacitance of the small elemental capacitor. Now I need the capacitance of the entire capacitor. In order to do that, I should take the integral dc is equal to, here constants let me keep outside, epsilon naught a square k1 k2 by d will come as common, integral dx by k2 into a minus x plus k1 into x. So here variable is dx. Dx is nothing but thickness of the element. So thickness of the element you may take from this end to this end. If you take the element from here to here, 0 to a will be the limits. 0 to a will be the limits. We need to simplify this integral. How to simplify? You know that integral f dash x by f of x dx is there, means it can be written as log of f of x to the base e. So if the denominator function is having derivative in the numerator, then you can use this formula. If you find the derivative for this, for k1x the derivative is k1, for k2a minus kx the derivative is, if you do the differentiation for this, what you will get? D by dx of k1x plus k2 into a minus x. So its derivative d by dx of k1x k2a minus k2x. So k1, k2a is a constant, its derivative is 0, minus k2. k1 minus k2 will be the derivative for this denominator. That k1 minus k2, if it is there in the numerator, then you can apply this. So in order to have this, integral dc is the c, integration and derivative gets cancelled, epsilon naught a square into k1 k2 by d. So I am dividing with k1 minus k2 and multiplying with k1 minus k2. What will happen? This multiplied value will go to the numerator part. So here is the integral. Let me write it clearly. Integral 0 to a k1 minus k2 into dx by k2 into a minus x plus k1 into x. Then I can write it as epsilon naught a square k1 k2 by d into k1 minus k2 into log k2 into a minus x plus k1x. Limits are to the base e, limits are from 0 to a, limits are from 0 to a. I will do the simplification part here. Upon substituting upper limit and lower limit, the capacitance C is given by epsilon naught a square into k1 k2 by d into k1 minus k2 into log. In the place of x I need to substitute a. If I substitute a here, a minus a, it becomes 0. So k1a it becomes log k1a to the base e minus, in the place of x if I keep 0, then log k2a it will become to the base e log A minus log B is log A by B. So epsilon naught A square by D K1 K2 by K1 minus K2 into log A minus log B means log A by B, log K1 A by K2 A to the base E. A gets cancelled. So epsilon naught A square by D K1 K2 by K1 minus K2 log K1 by K2 to the base E, log K1 by K2 to the base E. This will be the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with two square plates each of side A and separated by a distance D, and the space between the two capacitors is filled with two dielectrics as triangular laminas as shown in figure. So the effective capacitance of the capacitor is given by epsilon naught A square by D into K1 K2 by K1 plus K2 into log of K1 by K2 to the base E. I hope you understood this. Little mathematical knowledge is required for doing the calculation. So based on that, you can do this problem. Thank you.